Okay. Hello, hello. Just waiting till I go live on Patreon. So here we are, here we are. Give me 1 second as I set up here. Okay. Okay. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Very excited to be here as I am every month. And it's just so perfect that I'm talking about this particular story because I am actually in a hotel right now. I'm in a hotel in Turkey. I've been working here for the last number of weeks. And yeah, it's just funny. I just realized that. Well, here I am in a hotel talking about playing games and having fun in a hotel. So, yeah, this was a very exciting event. I mean, all the events I've had have been very exciting. All of the experiences, explorations have been very exciting. And I try to pick ones that are a little bit different each time. I mean, every single event I've ever had, every single exploratory sexual event I had with my partner was different, always very, very different because, we knew each other. We are close. We know what to expect from each other to a certain degree. It's that third person that comes in that has this completely different energy that brings something very, very new and very fresh to our connection, brings the spice, the real spice, the juicy spice. So, yeah, we used to connect with a lot of people on Craigslist, and he always took over. He loved to do it. He would spend hours on Craigslist talking to people, finding people. There's always people posting every day, new people looking for new kinds of scenarios, new situations. And my ex was very creative, and he liked to think up some new, exciting possibilities for the two of us. So sometimes he would post a little story that he would like to try out, some kind of, creative, sexy, fun thing. We'd like to meet you at a hotel and pick you up at the bar or something. And often I wouldn't know what it was. I wouldn't know what he was concocting or what he had imagined that he wanted to create. I was I was along for the ride. I also really had sort of this kink, this fetish that I like to play out the kinds of kinks and fetishes other people had. I was just really basically willing to do almost anything that he would put forth, that he would plan, that he would organize. That was exciting for me, not to know, for it to be a surprise, and that's part of what desire is about, right? Desire, especially for women, needs the surprise, needs the thrill, needs also the fear of the unknown. And so, I mean, my desire was high, and I was I was scared and nervous going into many different sexual explorations that we had. But I was so excited at the same time, and you know, turned on by what was going on because I didn't know. It's that intrigue. It's that intrigue. So this was no different than many of the other situations that we had had where I had really very little idea about what we were going to do. And he didn't really know either, but he always had sort of an idea in his head. And I didn't know who we were going to meet. By this point, I really trusted him fully in setting up the situation. And often, I would say 99% of the time, we would meet somebody before we had the play date. So we would get together for a coffee or a drink and, talk to the person, get to know them, see if we like them, discuss it amongst the two of us, whether it was somebody that we liked or not, and then decide. But we were getting really, we're getting quite good at that, and we were enjoying it, and we continued to do that, many more times yet. But there was the odd time that there would be a connection, and this was one of them, and I think this might have been one of the early ones. He made this connection with this guy who was from out of town, and so he only had one night to get together. So they had a lot of sort of back and forth texting. I believe that they talked on the phone as well, so he could feel comfortable with who this person was. The meeting was going to be at this upscale hotel near the airport. And, it was there's still a certain amount, there's still, still under our control. If it really didn't go well, if we really weren't into it, we could leave. I could say no. I always had the right to say no anytime. And, we knew that was an understanding between the two of us. So we were quite confident at this point, whether, even if the guy thought that we were going to come and play, that if we didn't like it, if we didn't like him, if we didn't like the situation, we could leave. Right. But we were going to go. The guy had one night. We said, let's go. Let's see what this is going to be all about. It was at his hotel. I don't remember where he was from. He was passing through Vancouver. He was a bi-curious guy, much more into women, but bi-curious. So that was perfect for us. And he was going to be meeting us in the downstairs bar of the hotel. So part of the game was the game of going to a hotel and meeting a complete and total stranger. We had a picture of him, so we had kind of an idea what he'd look like. But meeting a complete stranger, not really knowing what we're going to get into, not really knowing who he was, what he was, and not really knowing where it was going to go from there. He was staying at the hotel. Fine. Oh, well, that light just went off. I don't know why, but I'm still okay. They still see me. This is a hotel. There are buttons all over this hotel. I had pressed some button mistakenly, and I didn't get my room cleaned for a couple of nights, and I didn't get water. I didn't get things changed, and I thought, what the heck? Why? What's going on? I went to the front desk. She said, well, you pressed the button for do not disturb, so they haven't come to see you. Like, what button for do not disturb? I found it later. It's literally a little button beside the door, and you press it and it goes red. It's very hard to see, but the maid knows it. Anyways, so let's get back to the hotel, the intrigue of the hotel. So we go to the bar. I'm dressed up very, in very sexy stockings and a sexy little dress. And we go to the bar. We're kind of looking around for him. He hasn't come down to the bar yet. So we sit and we're waiting and I'm nervous, and we don't know, what this guy's going to be like exactly, but kind of exciting. It's a very cool bar, an upscale bar, a lovely hotel. So just that alone is exciting to be there, the two of us. He comes in. He is a very nice looking man, very nicely dressed. And right away, I just think, wow, yes, this is going to work. Or I like the way he looked, and I liked his energy as he walked in the door. So we played a little game of him coming in, talking to my husband, and them coming up with a plan. And I was sort of to be kind of standing by, just, following along, being the little slutty slut that I am, or was, or am, I guess. And just be on the arm of my husband as they make the plans of what they're going to do with me and the scenario. So that was exciting too, that I could really just completely surrender to the situation. And that was a lot of what I started to learn as I dropped deeper into my feminine energy, just surrendering more and just like, okay, I trust my husband completely. I trust the situation. I trust this is going to be an amazing, fun time. There's the lights back on. And just drop into my body and feel my own pleasure and enjoy the situation with these two guys talking about, just like small talk at first. And I was just watching and enjoying and really enjoying this guy. Wow, this guy is very sexy. This guy is very cute. This guy is intelligent. This is a nice connection. Every time he looked at me, it was a nice smile. He made compliments to me. I was excited that this was going to be the threesome that we were going to play around with. So the little game kind of ended, and he said, well, let's go up to my room. And we said, okay, let's do it. So I follow them up, and we're in the elevator, and my husband starts to kiss me and lifts up my skirt, shows him my underwear under the skirt, and he's just kind of sitting there, standing to the side, watching, quite excited by the situation. And so then we get to one of the higher floors where his let's see if the bulb is loose. When we get to one of the higher floors where his room is, and he's got a nice room, a suite with a little veranda, nice view. It's dark, of course, because it's quite late at night. I go in very confidently, walking around the room, checking out the room. Very nice, very cool, very interesting. And then they are both looking at me as I'm walking around, and really the conversation seemed to stop at that point. And I look back and I see the two of them just looking at me like, okay, we're going to get started on this one, and you're going to be the cake. So that was exciting. To be there's a certain amount of being objectified that can be very exciting. And as much as women fight back about being objectified, and I don't really like it unless I know the people, I guess, or I'm comfortable in the situation, I'm in the mood for it. But when I am, I love it. I loved being objectified, So that's kind of how the situation went. And first thing I was told was to take off my skirt. And so I took off my skirt, and my husband led it, and he was ordering me to do things and telling the guy to participate. And the guy was very, very eager. So he said, go over and kiss him. And so I did. And it was very passionate, very fun. And then my husband came up, and then the three of us were close and started to make out. Now the guy was bi-curious, so they were connecting as well. Then there was a bench, like ottoman in the middle of the room that was kind of a table / ottoman, softer top part of it, in a sort of a square, like a coffee table. And I was told to go on my hands and knees on the coffee table. Actually, I take my top off. I had my bra. I had like some stockings, garter belt, and told to go hands and knees on the table. And they told me just to stay there. And they got their drinks, and they were, again, objectifying me, talking about me as I'm sitting there and on my hands and knees with these two men as they walked around, had their drinks and chatted, and were chatting about what they were going to do with me. basically. So I was nervous, but I was getting very, very turned on by the scenario. Um, so then I was at the level, at that perfect level, coffee table level, hands and knees, where I could have one man on one side of me and one man on the other side of me. Um, and that's kind of how it started. I was used both ends by both of them. Uh, my husband was coming in from the back of me to start into my pussy, and the guy unzipped his pants and his cock went into my mouth. So then that was happening in that direction. And my husband was behind, he was slapping my ass as well. And I was, kind of like the decoration on the coffee table at this point. So that went on for a little while, and then my husband said we're going to switch places, and they switched. And so now it was the guy on the other side and my husband on that side. So that was quite fun. Yeah, there's just something about not having to be in control of anything. This total stranger just happened to be a nice connection. So I was basically being used by these two men. So we had this nice little playful game on the coffee table. And then I got up and I was feeling very, very light and very well fucked, let's say, because it went on for quite a while. They moved around, they took turns. I was on the table the whole time. And they were also at some point interacting themselves, just having me stay there and wait while they were having their interaction. But it was mostly about me, this scenario, and them, me. So yes. And then, so that went for a while. And then they asked me then my husband said, get up and, get a drink. We'll get you, here's a drink, and get up. He gave me a drink. I was, teetering around on my heels at this point. I went out onto the balcony to get some air, and I looked behind me, and they're watching me again. They're now shirtless, but and shirtless, and they kind of didn't have their pants off. They had their cocks coming out of their pants, but not their pants off, which is a super hot look on a guy. I don't know why, but it's just super hot. And my husband told the guy to go down on him. So now I'm watching the guy sucking on my husband's cock. And it was a really spectacular scene, standing on the balcony, watching these two men. My husband really being the dominant at this point, and the guy the submissive, and really watching them have their fun. I hope we're still connected. So little games that we were playing with this guy, and then they asked me to come back in, and the three of us went into the bedroom, and then the big action took place on the bed, the three of us. And it didn't go for very long because, I don't know, the steam kind of ran out. We were ready. The steam ran out quite quickly after that. I mean, the guy was really hot in the beginning and it was really fun, but then we got into the bed. The game kind of me being objectified had ended. And so now we're on the bed, and the three of us are kind of moving around the bed, having fun, touching each other, moving in a threesome. I still have my lingerie on. And then right at that point, my husband said, okay, come on, let's get up. We're going to get going now. And the guy's like, oh, you're going to get going. He said, yeah, we have to get going. We have another appointment. Like, what? What other appointment? But I didn't say that. I'm like, okay, he's in control here. And the guy's like, all right. Yeah. So we kind of had our little end kiss. You say, give each other a kiss, say goodbye, time to go, babe. And we said goodbye and went out into the hallway. And I was like, what's going on? Why did you want to leave? And he said, no, it was it. It was done. I was like done with this. Got into the elevator. We got into the elevator and he grabbed me, pulled up my skirt, and started to fuck me in the elevator, my husband. So he was very excited by the whole scenario, but he just wanted me to himself at that point. And so we had a little quickie in the elevator going down, whatever it was, 10, 15 floors. I think there's cameras in those elevators, but we were getting out of there. And so it was quick. Of course, we were giggling. It was quick. Of course, we were giggling. I was laughing. I was embarrassed coming out of the elevator at the bottom floor. But we quickly made our way out of there and, indiscreetly, or we were probably quite discreet, but who knows? Those hotel people, they see all sorts of things going on. And we just made our way out and back to the car, where in the car again, he had me giving him a blowjob in the car. I mean, he got very, very turned on by the whole, and I was very turned on as well by the whole experience. And, you can have these kinds of experiences, and the guy was involved with the experience, but you don't actually even, even if it's not that, it wasn't a super long event. I think we were a total time in his apartment, maybe for an hour. But it was such a thrilling event. It was such an exciting scene to be with this complete and total stranger, having had it worked out, having it worked out where we were all attracted to each other, keeping it not too long, just enough time to really get stimulated and have a lot of fun. And from after that particular event, we had some of the best sex for about a week after. Just, sometimes when I would be, or when I go in the earlier stages, and this was one of the stages for sure, I'm not fully present. And I think I might have said that I'm not fully present in my body. I'm so excited and so scared at the same time that the after effect of the event is almost more exciting. I get so turned on for a number of days after, thinking about what we actually did. So yes, that was the out of towner little hotel games that we played. Really, really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun, and that was sort of our beginning into meeting up with strangers in hotels and realize, wow, this could be fun. We got to do this. We have to do this some more. Or I felt like, I know my husband was very excited to do more of it, and I was very excited to have those more very, very discreet situations where there was no chance of ever seeing this person again, who was just popping into the city for a night or two. And we had a number of other scenarios like that. Of course, they were totally different environment, totally different person as well. And I will talk about those another time. So I hope you enjoyed that story. I'd love to hear any questions or comments about it. I hope it's inspired you to try something fun and different, maybe with your partner. And if you do, let me know. Let me know if you have and how it went for you. Again, you can have these fun experiences, these kind of crazy, naughty experiences of all sorts. When you know that you are in control and that you always have the ability to say no in these situations, you always have the ability to leave if it doesn't work out for you. Be empowered within your own explorations, and it makes it way more fun. When my husband wanted to go at that point, there was not really any question about it. He was ready to leave. And I know that if it had been me saying, I want to get out of here now, let's go, time to go, he would have gone with me, because we had a rule about, if it doesn't work out for you, if you want to end, it will end right at that. We will end it, no questions asked. It makes you feel safer. It makes you feel more empowered in the situation and less fearful. So that's the story for this month. Thank you very much for joining in when you have the opportunity. Thank you for being part of this Patreon group. I am telling you, never before told stories, never told anybody about any of these stories. Either the first time these stories are coming out, I just feel like it's time to put them out there so I can remember one day the crazy stuff that I used to do, the crazy shit that I used to do, the crazy fucking around that I used to do. All so much fun. Just remembering these events has been really, really exciting for me. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much for joining in, and much love, Nikki.